Hello everyone, it's Kane Pereira, also known as the Kaneologist. I'm back again with another project called Threat Tracker. So this project is going to involve us being the users, and we're going to log into an API that basically gets all this threat data and lists it out for us. And what I've done here is added pagination to it, so you can view a certain number of threats per page. So I put 5. And it will have a lock. So if there's any maximum number of threads, so for example, if there's 10, you're only going to see 2 pages of 5, and the buttons will lock. So that's some pagination feature I added. I also added a level of cybersecurity to this app. So this is meant to protect and authenticate the user. So anytime the user logs in, it'll produce something called a JSON web token, also known as a JWT. And what that looks like is this here. If you look at this Postman window, this is my login URL, and this is the token. This is a unique string that's produced every time the user logs in. So without this, the user won't be able to access the app. So that's why every time the user logs in, a new string is produced, and this allows you to view the API and then play with the pagination and sort your data. Also, what I've done is I included password hashing using Argon 2, which is a package that you can install to protect your data when it's stored in a database, like PSQL, which is what I used for this app. And I'm going to give you a quick look in the demo shortly, so I'll do that right now. npm start for the front end and node server.js for the back end. So I'm going to start this. And then let's just put this on 3029 as a test. So for example, right now we are in the login page section, so we have to enter our credentials. So basically when you log in, something like this occurs. So basically another token, a unique string is generated to say this is the person that is logging in with these credentials, right? So now you have the access to look at all these different URLs stored here. You can sort them. You can arrange them by date. As you can see here, they reorder based on the date, ascending, descending. You can sort them by the type, and this is the pagination control. So if you look, we can't go past page 1 because that's the first page, and we can't go past the last page, so the buttons get disabled here. This is some little functionality using Tailwind CSS and some JavaScript code for the buttons. The next thing I've done here is I've implemented storage in PSQL. So this is pgadmin 4, what you can use to view your PSQL data. Notice how my password is this really long string of random characters, and it says Argon 2. So that's the package used to hash this password. So that way if someone hacks into my database, they can't see what's the sensitive user information, like the passwords and stuff like that. Also, here's all the same data stored in this table, so that way we can view it in long-term storage. So let's say we close the app, we could still go back to the data that we stored here in the database. So that's a quick little rundown of the app. So here, let's just check what happens if we close it. And I go back to localhost 3000 where the app is hosted. Now it's going to prompt me to log back in because now it requires a new JSON web token. So it needs a new string, a new unique string in order to enter to authenticate the user and allow us in. So I'll have to log back in and enter the credentials again. And this is our kind of security measure that we've taken, so that way if the user leaves or walks away and there's sensitive data on the screen, no one can just hop back on and refresh. They'll have to log back in and a new token will be produced, which is like an added layer of security to this app. So some ways that you could take this further is you could create a Docker deployment. So instead of what I've done here, using terminals for the front and back end portions of the application, you can use Docker to tie that in together to create one uniform deployment. And instead of just using PSQL, if you want to speed up your performance and the user experience, you can use something like Redis to have cache memory to kind of pull this data faster instead of always going back to database and re-pulling it out. If you want to see the steps that I've taken to build this, and if you want to try and reproduce it yourself, I have this on my blog, and here I've listed out all the steps from start to finish with the code snippets on how to reproduce this app. So if you enjoyed this, I would love to hear your comments below and any feedback you have. Thank you.